In this video, we're focused on what we call function notation. So when using function notation, sometimes you'll see a y equals 2x plus 3 or something like that. That's known as y being a function of x. So we usually change y to be fx, which means a function of x, right? So sometimes you won't see the y, sometimes you will. But if you have a look down below, just under the green heading using function notation, you'll see fx equals x plus 3. That is the same as if you had y equals x plus 3. Usually the y and the fx are interchangeable. So from here on out, you'll probably see the fx though more often. So if you were told to find, let's say, f and then bracket 3 close bracket, what this means is it requires you to substitute x equals 3 into wherever the function where there's an x. So if there's an x in the function, it's now a 3. So what that means is if I go down here and I write our original function equals x plus 3, wherever there is an x now, it's going to become a 3. So we would say that that solution is 6. Right? So when f3 equals 6. Now it's important to note that pronumerals can also be put in here. So you may see questions something like f bracket x plus h, and it's the same concept. Write down your x equals x plus 3, and then x plus h is going to just be wherever there's an x, it's now an x plus h. So x plus h plus 3. Now be aware, sometimes you'll have to do some expansions. In this case, we didn't have to. It just came out as x plus h plus 3. But let's say you had something like 2x, you would need to expand that out. So, another type of function that's relatively the same, just slightly different. Sometimes you'll get what we call piecewise functions. So these are functions that are made up of 2 or more functions. I'm saying functions a lot, but that's part of this exercise. So what it usually means though is that this function works for this range and then a different function works for something different. So in the example we have there, we've got fx and then it splits off into 2 things. We've got x plus 2 on the top, and then on the bottom we have 2x. So if you notice on the top one, we use that for any x values that are greater than or equal to 2. So if we had f3, we would need to use the top one. And then but the bottom one, we only use it for x values less than 2. So if you had x equals or f negative 2, you would need to use the bottom function. So it's about identifying what your x value is going to be and then deciding whether it's in the top interval or the bottom interval. You may see some of these piecewise functions get up to 3 or 4, but to begin with, most of them are just going to be 2